What's going on, everybody? This is Leo from Daddy's Game Time, your friendly show about gaming, movies, and pop culture from a daddy's perspective. Today, I will be playing Titanfall, and I will be talking about the PS4K, otherwise known as the PS4.5. So we're gonna get right to it. You can see in the screen behind me, I do have it up, locked and loaded. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's play now. I'm no expert at Titanfall. I got this game almost I'd say maybe 6 months ago or so, but I really haven't played it much at all. It was super hyped up when I got the game, or actually, when the game first was released, it was one of the biggest hypes of the year, and I just never seem to get into it. I'm sorry, guys, but that's the honest to goodness truth. Um, but we're gonna be talking today about the PlayStation 4.5 and the virtual reality that PlayStation is gonna bring to us. You see the title. Is this gonna bring Sony down? I'll give you my thoughts coming up. Um, Let me see. Is this how you start a game? I don't know what I'm doing here. We're waiting for players. Okay, so apparently this game doesn't have too many players. Perhaps we'll have to just wait and see while I talk. Um, well, this gives me a good opportunity to just get right to it without too many distractions, as you can see from my other gameplay videos. Um, well, let me give you my thoughts first and foremost. What is the PlayStation 4K? It's pretty much a PlayStation 4 with the capability to play, I'm guessing, the video games or video games in 4K resolutions, as well as the video content and everything else associated with the media that the PlayStation 4 happens to be able to play. And so we have that. Um, they have leaked out some specs regarding it, where they really haven't been able to, what's the word, they pretty much, in plain terms, have said that the PlayStation 4.5 will not have additional features or additional content from the games that already exist on the PlayStation 4. All it will be is just extra resolution for it. So, for those of you that have 4K TVs and have not bought a PS4 yet, you might want to just hold off just a little bit longer until this releases, or at least until it's announced, so you can find out at what price point they're planning on releasing it at. Also, I do believe they're probably going to be upping the frames per second, so you might be getting a lot of games running at 60 frames per second. We'll have to just wait and see what the developers decide to do. A lot of the internets today are already outraged and making their voices heard. They don't like this idea of the PlayStation 4.5, and they have a lot of merits to their arguments. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. But first and foremost, I just want to talk about why and the cons opposing the pros here in this argument. Um, One might say the PlayStation 4 is just fine. It's a success. It's on pace to be the highest selling console of all time. Sony, why are you doing this? You're doing so well. Why mess up a good thing? Well, Sony recognizes that the industry is trending towards 4K content. And they also understand that their current console is on pace to be, how should I put this lightly, to be outdated within the next 2 or possibly 3 years. So what are they doing to extend that just a little bit longer, to extend it to the almost 10-year life cycle that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 enjoyed. Well, they're coming up with this PS4 remix, you could say. The 4.5, the PS4K. That's really all it is. It's just adding that feature of extra resolution to it. Now, it was also leaked on the internet that there's some industry people, developers to be more precise, that are actually kind of upset about this because it gives them more work to do. And yes, that is understandable. However, I don't know if perhaps everybody feels the same way, and the reason being is because I do do that. Okay. Oh, we're finally playing. Yay! Let's see. I don't even know how to play this game. Jump. So the reason to get to that would be to just kind of stay afloat, extend the lifespan of the PS4 just a little bit longer. To also, they might want to be getting a little bit ahead of the competition. Kind of, stay fresh before Xbox or Sony. Microsoft does anything to kind of.
Hey, your Titan will be ready in 60 seconds.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Got that guy pretty good. Okay, so... Oh, and that guy got me. Okay, sorry, I'm distracted. I love playing video games, and I have a hard time concentrating when I'm playing a video game. So, please bear with me here. I'm gonna go ahead. So, Sony's taking a little bit of a risk by alienating some people. However, I just have to say, I think their heart's in the right place with the PS4.5. They're trying to do what they believe to be the right thing, which is fine by me. And it doesn't seem like they're taking away anything from the. Ooh. So Sony's taking a little bit of a risk by alienating some people. However, I just have to say, I think their heart's in the right place with the PS4.5. They're trying to do what they believe to be the right thing, which is fine by me. And it doesn't seem like they're taking away anything from the people that already own PlayStation 4. It's not like so it's not like they're kind of like gonna just start giving someone else other content that you're not gonna be getting in the future, like you would, for example, from a transition such as PS3 to PS4. No, it's not like that at all. Everybody's going to be getting the same content. It's just you're getting it an up in resolution, and that's pretty much it. Yes, the developers are going to complain. It's a little bit more of hard work or added work on their plate. But you know what? They already do things like this. They already do this with PC games. Yes, PC games are glitchy at launch. Most of them are not even playable at launch. So are we about to start seeing more of this on the PS4? Maybe. Most likely, yes. I do believe we probably will get a lot of that on PS4. And the reason being is just simply that. It's going to be added work. Some of the textures and resolutions aren't going to be ready, especially when you're going to give the player options to up all that stuff. Like, you're gonna sell, for example, let's say this, you're gonna go buy a PS4 game at a store, and it's already gonna come loaded with the PS4 game, the game for the PS4 in itself. However, if you own the PS 4.5 or PS4K, you're gonna have the added ability. Whoa, I died. You're gonna have the added ability to play the same game in 4K resolution. And kind of similar to like what you do on a PC. When you turn on your PC game, you get this screen a lot of the time where it asks you to enable certain textures, certain resolutions, certain details for your games that you might want. And if your computer can handle it, it's gonna go ahead and do what it does best. If it can't handle it, it's gonna still try to do it, but you're gonna see a lot of resolution drops. So you have a lot of those things to think about now, Sony, with the 4.5, where you get the game, and it's just gonna do a lot of that stuff where you might have a lot of glitches, you might have a lot of broken gameplay mechanics as well. So I don't know as far as that goes, and I don't know if that's gonna affect the way it plays on PS4 as well. Most likely, if it's the same, running off of the same code, or if they're planning on just completely burning a different disc, different SKU for the 4.5 games, or the PS4K games, then that might not be the case so much, but that remains to be seen. I really doubt that's the way they'll do things. So we'll just wait and see about that. Now, the other thing that kind of has me worried is the VR. Like, hey man, the VR is great technology, but who knows how well it's gonna be received at this point. It's kind of still in its infancy stages, even though it has been tried many times before. But VR as of right now, I can't, because of the high price point to join. I think it's going to be very niche in terms of who's going to get it, and the people that can afford to get it, I think most of those people are going to be the adults that already own these supercomputers. They're going to want the best of the best, which from what I've been hearing, what gives you best performance is the Oculus Rift. So that remains to be seen there as well. Yes, the Oculus Rift does cost a little bit more money than the PlayStation VR. However, PlayStation VR consumers, I don't think are going to be willing to drop as much money into it as the consumers for the PC market. So you have that to think about as well. Boom, get some. Yeah, got him. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Now, is Sony gonna go down because of this? You know what? I most people would consider me a Sony fanboy because just lately, like all the games that they've been making, they're more tailored to what I like. I know Microsoft has a lot of good merits as well as to what they bring out. And in terms of games, however, my personal preference leans towards what Sony is doing right now, with games like from exclusive games, I should say, from guys like Naughty Dog, and also some of the just more like adventure single player type games that they've had lately. So those are the types of games I like, more story-based games, whereas Microsoft seems to be a little bit more focused on the multiplayer stuff, and that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. It's just a matter of personal taste. Now, why am I saying Sony? Are you possibly in trouble? Are you possibly gonna go down? You know what? I've seen this before. Sega did this. Sega, back in the mid
Good to go.
90s,
Call it when ready.
they had gained a lot of ground on Nintendo. One could even argue that they kind of sort of won the console war, even though Nintendo still had a bigger market share, but Sega stole more market share from Nintendo, whereas Nintendo owned about, I think it was close to 90% of the market share in video games. Um, at the time, Sega seemingly came out of nowhere, and with their amazing marketing team, was able to get a lot of edgy games developed for the console. They had a lot of great. They had a lot of great games actually released for it, and they marketed it to slightly more adult audience as well. So, so we have a lot of that happened um, in the mid 90s. And so Sony, Sony right now, Sony's coming off of, you could say, a similar situation Nintendo had, where they had most of the market share. Sony had just came off of the PS2. PS2 biggest success in gaming history, and then suddenly the PS3, they got a little cocky, and so they received a lot of hate from the hardcore and overall most of the players. So they got a lot of that happening against Sony once the PS3 was released, and a lot of that was deserved because they just kind of ignored a lot of the needs that they had, that their fans had, the Sony fans. So that's what happened